The phone screen cracked like thunder as it hit the marble floor. Millions watching the viral video that would destroy a family's reputation forever. Before we dive into this story, where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments. And if you believe respect and sacrifice still matter in America, join us in honoring those who gave everything. It was a sweltering July afternoon at the Women in Military Service for America Memorial in Arlington, Virginia. The sun blazed down on polished granite walls etched with the names of countless heroines who served their country with distinction. Families, veterans, and tourists moved through the sacred space with reverence, their voices hushed in the presence of something greater than themselves. The memorial stood as a testament to courage. Stories of nurses who saved lives under enemy fire, pilots who broke barriers in the sky, and soldiers who fought for freedom on foreign soil. The air was thick with humidity and honor, the kind of weighted silence that settles over a place where sacrifice is remembered. Among the exhibits showcasing women's military history, visitors paused to read testimonies of bravery. A mother explained to her young son why the women on the wall mattered. An elderly veteran in a wheelchair saluted a photo of female Marines. The atmosphere was one of deep respect and gratitude. But not everyone came here to honor. Some came to mock. At the entrance, a security checkpoint buzzed with activity. Guards meticulously checked bags while maintaining the dignity of the space. This wasn't just another tourist destination. It was hallowed ground where America's daughters were celebrated for their service and sacrifice. The memorial's design itself commanded respect. Curved granite walls rose from the earth like protective arms, embracing the stories within. Water features provided a peaceful soundtrack, while carefully maintained gardens offered spaces for reflection. Every detail was intentional, every corner designed to inspire awe. As afternoon shadows lengthened across the Memorial Plaza, the stage was set for a confrontation that would shock the nation. The sacred and the profane were about to collide in a way no one could have predicted. Madison Carter stepped out of her family's black Tesla Model S, her designer heels clicking against the pavement like gunshots. At 17, she commanded attention wherever she went, cascading blonde hair, flawless makeup, and an outfit that cost more than most people's monthly rent. Her Instagram following of 750,000 hung on her every post, thirsting for content from Silicon Valley's princess. "This better be worth it," Madison muttered, adjusting her ring light attachment for her iPhone 14 Pro Max. "My followers are expecting something epic from DC." Her mother, Rebecca Carter, emerged from the passenger side, dripping in Chanel and anxiety. As the wife of TechVision CEO, she lived her life through carefully curated social media posts. "Madison, honey, this is important for our family's image. The memorial represents American values." "Whatever, Mom. It's just another photo op," Madison replied, already filming her arrival. "Hey, beautiful people. Madison here, about to explore this military thing. Let's see what content we can create." Inside the memorial, the atmosphere shifted. Among the respectful visitors moved Sofia Martinez, a woman whose presence commanded attention for entirely different reasons. At 32, Sofia carried herself with military precision despite the noticeable limp from her prosthetic right leg. Her dark hair was pulled back in a neat bun, revealing a face marked by both strength and compassion. Sofia wore the crisp uniform of a memorial guard, her posture perfect despite the titanium and carbon fiber that had replaced flesh and bone below her right knee. The purple heart pin on her chest caught the light, but few visitors knew the story behind it. How Sergeant Sofia Martinez had thrown herself on an IED to shield 5 fellow soldiers in Afghanistan, losing her leg but saving their lives. "Ma'am, the next guided tour begins in 15 minutes, Sofia informed an elderly couple, her voice warm but professional. This was her calling now, educating visitors about the courage of America's servicewomen, ensuring their stories lived on. Madison noticed Sofia immediately, but not for the right reasons. Her influencer brain processed the visual. Attractive woman, military uniform, obvious disability. Content gold. "Oh my God, look at that," Madison whispered to her phone camera, zooming in on Sofia's prosthetic. Guys, there's this disable guard here. This is actually perfect for the inspiration porn trend everyone's talking about. Rebecca was busy networking with other wealthy visitors, oblivious to her daughter's brewing mischief. Madison approached Sofia with the predatory confidence of someone who'd never faced real consequences. "Excuse me," Madison called out, loud enough for her phone microphone to catch. "I'm Madison Carter, influencer and content creator. I have 750,000 followers who would love to hear your story." Sofia turned, her trained eye immediately assessing the teenager before her. Years in combat had taught her to read people quickly, and she sensed trouble. "I'm happy to answer questions about the memorial and the women we honor here," Sofia replied professionally, though something in Madison's demeanor set off alarms. Madison's eyes lit up. This was exactly what she needed: authentic military content with a disability angle. Her followers ate up these real-life hero posts, especially when she could position herself as the compassionate influencer bringing attention to worthy causes. But Madison's definition of worthy was about to collide with Sofia's reality in the most explosive way possible. "So, how did you lose your leg?" Madison asked with the casual cruelty of someone who'd never known real suffering. Her phone captured every word, every expression. "Was it super traumatic? My followers love authentic trauma content." Sofia's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. "I was injured serving my country in Afghanistan. I prefer to focus on the memorial and the women we honor here." "But that's not really compelling content," Madison pressed, stepping closer. "I mean, you're here working with one leg. That's got to be really hard, right? Do you ever feel like you're not qualified for this job?" Other visitors began to notice the exchange. A Vietnam War nurse who'd volunteered her afternoon stopped her conversation, sensing trouble. A family with young children moved closer, the father's expression darkening. "Miss, I think you should," the father began, but Madison cut him off. "Excuse me, I'm creating content here. This is a public space." She turned back to Sofia with mock sympathy. "I just think it's so inspiring how they give jobs to people like you. It's like diversity and inclusion in action." Sofia's training warred with her humanity. Every instinct screamed to put this privileged child in her place, but her duty required restraint. The women memorialized here served with distinction regardless of their challenges. "Perhaps you'd like to learn about their stories." "Stories don't get views," Madison laughed, her phone still rolling. "But this does. Look, I'm not trying to be mean, but isn't it kind of weird that someone who couldn't even finish their military service is teaching people about military history?" The words hit like physical blows. Around them, the crowd was growing restless. A teenage boy in a Marine Corps t-shirt stepped forward, his fists clenched. "You need to back off, lady," he said, his voice shaking with anger. Madison spun around, delighted by the drama. "Oh, we've got a white knight. This is perfect." She pivoted her phone to capture the boy's angry face. "Sir, can you tell my followers why you're defending someone who clearly can't defend herself?" That was the line. Sofia moved with the fluid precision of her military training, stepping between Madison and the increasingly agitated crowd. Her voice, when she spoke, carried the authority of someone who'd commanded respect in war zones. "Young lady, you're disrupting a sacred space and disrespecting the memory of American heroes. I'm going to ask you once to please show some respect." Madison's eyes gleamed with opportunity. A confrontation with authority? Her follower count was about to explode. "Are you threatening me?" she demanded, making sure her phone captured every angle. "Because I know my rights. My father could buy this entire memorial if he wanted to. You work for the government, which means you work for taxpayers like us." She stepped closer to Sofia, invading her personal space with the confidence of someone who'd never faced real consequences. "Actually, you know what? I don't think you should be working here at all. How could someone who couldn't even stay in the army teach people about military service? Isn't that false advertising?" The crowd erupted. Shouts of anger rose from veterans and civilians alike. Someone called for security. Madison's phone captured it all, her fingers steady on the record button as she orchestrated her own viral moment. But she had no idea who she was really confronting. Security guards pushed through the growing crowd, led by Colonel James Rodriguez, the memorial's commanding officer. His weathered face showed decades of military service, and his presence immediately commanded attention. "What seems to be the problem here?" Colonel Rodriguez asked, his voice cutting through the chaos. Madison whirled around, her phone capturing the new arrival. Finally, someone in charge. "This woman," she pointed at Sofia with theatrical disgust, "is being completely unprofessional. I was just trying to create educational content about disabled veterans, and she got all defensive." Educational content. The Vietnam nurse stepped forward, her voice shaking with rage. "You called her unqualified because of her injury." "That's not what I said," Madison protested, already editing the narrative in her head. "I was asking legitimate questions about accessibility in the workplace. It's called journalism." Colonel Rodriguez studied the scene with practiced eyes. He'd served with Sofia in Afghanistan, knew her story better than most. The crowd's anger was palpable. Veterans, families, tourists all unified in their disgust. "Miss, I'm going to need you to come with me," he said firmly. "Absolutely not." Madison's voice rose to a shriek. "Do you know who my father is? Ryan Carter, CEO of Tech Vision. He donated $500,000 to military charities last year. You cannot treat me like some common criminal." She turned back to Sofia, her face twisted with entitled rage. "And you, I'm going to make sure everyone knows how unprofessional you are. This video is going straight to my Instagram story, then TikTok, then Twitter. My followers are going to destroy you." Sofia remained motionless, her military bearing intact despite the vicious assault. But something shifted in her eyes, a recognition that this had gone beyond mere disrespect. "You want content?" Sofia's voice was steady, almost conversational. "Let me give you some real content." She reached into her uniform pocket and withdrew a small blue ribbon adorned with white stars. The Medal of Honor, America's highest military decoration. The crowd fell silent. "My name is Sergeant Sofia Martinez," she said, her words carrying across the memorial plaza like a benediction. "I received this medal for actions in Afghanistan, where I lost my leg saving the lives of 5 American soldiers." Madison's phone captured every word, but for the first time, her confidence wavered. The blue ribbon caught the sunlight, and suddenly the crowd's anger transformed into something else. A reverent hush that even Madison could feel. "I didn't finish my military service because pieces of an IED are still embedded in my spine," Sofia continued. "But I earned the right to stand here through blood and sacrifice." "What have you earned?" Madison's mouth opened and closed wordlessly. Around her, phones appeared as other visitors began recording. The tables had turned, and she was no longer in control of the narrative. Colonel Rodriguez stepped forward. "Miss Carter, you're coming with us." Now, within hours, Madison's world imploded. The video of her confrontation with Sofia spread across social media like wildfire, but not in the way she'd intended. #DisrespectedHero began trending worldwide as millions watched a privileged teenager mock a Medal of Honor recipient. "Oh my God, Ryan, have you seen this?" Rebecca Carter burst into her husband's corner office at Tech Vision headquarters, her phone shaking in her hands. "Madison's video, it's everywhere. CNN is calling for a statement." Ryan Carter, tech billionaire and master of crisis management, watched his daughter's meltdown play out in real time across multiple screens. His company's stock had already dropped 3% as investors worried about brand association. "How did we raise such a monster?" Rebecca whispered, scrolling through thousands of hate comments directed at their family. Meanwhile, in a small security office at the memorial, Madison sat across from Dr. Sarah Kim, a military psychologist specializing in PTSD and traumatic brain injury. The juvenile detention officer had recommended counseling over immediate arrest, pending Madison's cooperation. "Tell me about your relationship with your parents," Dr. Kim said gently, her notepad ready. "They're busy," Madison mumbled, her usual bravado cracking. "Dad's always working, Mom's always shopping. They give me everything I want except actual attention." So you sought attention online instead? Madison nodded, tears threatening. For the first time, the weight of her actions was sinking in. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I just wanted views. Followers. I wanted to matter. Dr. Kim leaned forward. Do you understand who Sofia Martinez is? What she represents? She's a Medal of Honor recipient, Madison whispered. I looked it up after everything. She saved 5 soldiers. Lost her leg doing it. The youngest female Medal of Honor recipient in 50 years, Dr. Kim added. She was 28 when that IED exploded. Your age in 11 years. Would you have made the same choice she did? Madison broke down completely. The carefully constructed influencer persona shattered, revealing a lost, empty teenager beneath. Outside, the media frenzy intensified. News vans lined the memorial entrance as reporters interviewed visitors about the confrontation. Veterans organizations issued statements supporting Sofia. The video had been viewed over 10 million times in 12 hours. This represents everything wrong with our culture, declared Maria Santos, a Gold Star mother who'd lost her son in Iraq. While my boy was dying for his country, kids like this are living in luxury and mocking our heroes. In her modest Arlington apartment, Sofia watched the coverage with mixed emotions. She'd never sought fame, never wanted to be a symbol. Yet here she was, thrust into the national spotlight by a teenager's cruelty. Her phone buzzed constantly with interview requests, speaking opportunities, and messages of support. The Pentagon had called twice. The Secretary of Defense wanted to meet with her. You okay, Sof? Her neighbor, another disabled veteran, peeked through the door. I just wanted to do my job, Sofia replied, staring at the Medal of Honor display case her father had built. Educate people. Honor the women who served. I never asked for this. Sometimes the fight chooses us, her neighbor said gently. That girl needs to learn some hard truths. Back at the memorial, Colonel Rodriguez fielded calls from Washington. The incident had reached the highest levels of government. This wasn't just about one disrespectful teenager anymore. It had become a national conversation about values, sacrifice, and the growing disconnect between privilege and service. Sir, the secretary wanted a full report, his aide informed him. They're considering making Sergeant Martinez the face of a new veterans advocacy campaign. Meanwhile, Madison faced the consequences of her viral moment. Her Instagram account, her identity, her entire world was collapsing under the weight of national outrage. Death threats flooded her DMs. Her father's business partners were distancing themselves. Even her supposed friends at school were posting condemning messages. I want to apologize, Madison told Dr. Kim through tears. Really apologize. Not for the cameras or the lawyers. I want to tell her I'm sorry. Dr. Kim nodded. That's a start. But sorry won't be enough. You need to understand what service means, what sacrifice looks like. You need to earn forgiveness, not expect it. The path to redemption would be long and painful. But for the first time in her privileged life, Madison Carter was ready to do the work. 6 months later, Madison knelt beside Sofia in Section 60 of Arlington National Cemetery, carefully placing fresh flowers on the grave of Corporal Michael Torres, one of the soldiers Sofia had saved in Afghanistan. He was 22, Sofia said quietly, her voice carrying both grief and pride. Wanted to be a teacher after his deployment. His mom visits every month. Madison's hands trembled as she arranged the white roses. The past months had changed her completely. Community service at veterans hospitals, conversations with Gold Star families, and intensive therapy had stripped away her superficial shell, revealing someone capable of genuine empathy. I've been thinking about what you said, Madison whispered, about earning the right to stand here. I don't think I ever will. Not really. Sofia studied the girl beside her. No longer the entitled influencer who'd mocked her months ago, but a young woman grappling with real purpose for the first time. You're wrong, Sofia said gently. Every day you choose service over selfishness, you earn that right a little more. Michael would have liked that. Madison had deleted her influencer accounts, using her platform one final time to share Sofia's story and promote veterans' causes. Her father's company had established a scholarship fund for children of disabled veterans. The family was rebuilding from the ground up. I start college next year, Madison said. Social work major. Maybe I can help other kids before they make my mistakes. Sofia smiled, the first genuine smile Madison had ever seen from her. Michael always said the best soldiers are the ones who've been broken and put themselves back together. You're stronger than you think. As they walked back through Arlington's hallowed rows, Madison felt the weight of sacrifice surrounding her. Each headstone represented a choice, to serve something greater than oneself. Her phone buzzed with a text from her father. Proud of you, honey. See you tonight for dinner. Love, Dad. Real attention, earned through real growth. The viral video still existed online, a permanent reminder of who she'd been. But Madison had learned that true influence came not from followers or fame, but from the quiet courage to change, to serve, to honor those who'd given everything. Some lessons can only be learned the hard way. Some stories end with growth instead of glory. And sometimes, the greatest heroes are the ones who teach us how to become better than we were. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to remember what true sacrifice looks like. Because respect isn't given, it's earned one choice at a time. 4. 总字数3045字